even more persuaded by Farley's point than you were before, even more reluctant to hear that it's wrong and that there really of no need for a greater God. The scrambling arguments show that whatever else the explanation of beautiful improbability of living things may be, it certainly can be random law. That's pretty much the improbability means. But now here's a little twist to the argument. It may be a little, but it's very important. The Dionian twist, supposedly. Instead of scrambling all the bit of cheetah at random and making a horrible mess, you change just one little bit of an animal, again in a random direction. The key point is that we change it only a very small amount. Suppose a cheetah is born with just its claw just tiny bit longer than in the previous generation. Now, we don't have a horrible mess of scrambled cheetah. We still have a proper breathing, running cheetah. It has changed random, but only very slightly. Now, it's quite likely that this tiny change makes the cheetah a little bit worse at surviving, or perhaps a bit better. Perhaps a longer claw give the cheetah a better grip on the ground, and this helps to run just a little bit faster. Like the spiked running shoes that athletes wear, so it catches the gazelle that would otherwise have narrowly escaped. Or perhaps the claw gives the cheetah a better grip on the prey when it's caught, so it has less chance of wriggling free. And how did the cheetah get a slightly longer claw? Somewhere in the cheetah's genome, there's a gene that affects claw length. A baby cheetah always inherits its genes from its parents, but you are now talking about a new baby in which one gene, a gene which affects the claw, isn't quite the same as the parental version. It changes at random. The gene has mutated. The process of mutation itself is random. It's not specifically guided toward improvement. Most mutant genes, in fact, make things worse, but some, as in our example of the slightly longer claw, happen to make things better. And in that case, the animal or plant that possess them are more likely to survive and pass on their genes, including the mutant ones. That's what Darwin called natural selection, although he didn't use the word mutation. A random mutation could make the claw blunter instead of sharper, and maybe less good at running or gripping prey. The smaller the change, the closer the probability gets to 50%. That's an improvement. To see why, imagine that the change is very large. Say the mutant claws are a foot long. That's bound to make the cheetah less successful. It's trip over its monstrous claw and they'll break when they try to grip anything. The same will be true of big change in either direction. If the leg suddenly became 2 yards long or only 6 inches long, the cheetah will perish swiftly. Now think about a very small change, again in either direction. Imagine a mutation that is so small as to have almost no effect at all on the cheetah's body. A change like that will have hardly any effect on the animal's success, either way. A very small change, so small that it's almost, but not quite, zero, will have an approximately 50% chance of being an improvement. larger the mutation in any direction, the greater the likelihood that it will damage the animal's performance. Large mutations are bad. Small mutations approach a 50% chance of being good. Dine realized the successful mutations are nearly always small, but mutations that scientists study are usually large, for the obvious reason that small ones are hard to detect, and because large mutations in any direction are almost always bad. This had led some people to doubt evolution because they think all mutations are bad for survival. It may be true that all the mutations big enough to be easily studied in the lab are bad for survival. But it's small ones that matter in evolution. Darwin persuaded his readers of the power of selection by first pointing to domestication. Humans have changed the wild horse into dozens of different breeds. Some, like cart horse and medieval chargers, are larger than wild horse. Others, like Shetland ponies and Pelabellas, are much smaller. We, Daddy, our human ancestor, made cart horse by choosing to breed from the largest individual in successive generation. We made Pelabellas by breeding from the smallest. Generation by generation, we made the world breed of dogs from wolf ancestors. We made Great Dane and Irish Wolfhound by breeding from the largest as the generation went by. We made Chihuahuas and Yorkies by breeding consistently from the smallest, starting with wild cabbage, which is an ordinary, nondescript wildflower. We made Brussels sprout, cauliflowers, kale, broccoli, kohlrabi, and mathematically elegant romanescos. See plate 9. All made by humans practicing artificial selection. Farmers and gardeners, dog breeders and pigeon fanciers have known about the power of selection for centuries. What Darwin brilliantly realized is that you don't need a human selector. Nature does the job all by itself, and has been doing it for hundreds of millions of years. Some mutant genes help animals to survive and reproduce. Those genes became more frequent in the population. Other mutant genes make it harder for them to survive and reproduce, and so became less frequent in the population until they disappear altogether. It only takes a few countries to turn a wolf into a effete war을 위말하나. Just think how much change could be achieved in a million centuries. Since our ancestors were fish crawling out of the sea, 3 million centuries have gone by. That's an awful lot of time. A huge opportunity for change, step by step down the generation. The key point about mutation, to return to it, is that successful mutation, though random, are small. The mutant animal is not a randomly scrambled mess, which random change makes it only a little bit different from the previous generation. Let's go back to our cheetah to see how nature does the job, where farmer or gardener or dog fancier. The cub is a mutant gene grow up, its slightly longer claw help it to run just